Na 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 na. Hey YouTube, welcome back to another exciting episode of Vin Plays Yahoo Fantasy Football. This is our Week 7 starter episode where I go over my matchups and basically my thought process going over my decisions for choosing my starters for the week. Let's go ahead and jump into our matchup here. So right now, we really want to bounce back from our very sad performance of last year. But right now, week 7, it's really nice to have our full complement of players here because we have nobody on bye. Yeah, we have all our best players active right now. Going down the list, we do have Aaron Rodgers. His matchup against Houston, I'm not scared of. I really expect him to bounce back this week. And I expect him as a player actually to want to bounce back as well. His last game was one of the worst in his career. So yeah, I'm really confident in starting Aaron Rodgers this week. Going down the list, Allen Robinson, we are a little less confident in Allen Robinson this week. He will be playing the Rams, and he will likely be seeing a coverage from Jalen Ramsey. So yeah, we have to temper our expectations here with Allen Robinson. Hopefully he gets close to his projection points, but like a bad matchup a couple of weeks ago, anything around 10 points we'll more or less be happy with here. Davante Adams, this should be a smash spot for him as well with Aaron Rodgers. The Houston defense is not great at all. It's actually been the worst they've been in a little while now, since they've had TJ Watt. So yeah, Davante Adams, we're fully expecting him to smash here. Yeah, fearless forecast with 21 points. Yeah, that's well within the realm of possibility. So yeah, hopefully that works out for us there. Going down the list, we have Josh Jacobs. This one, again, like Allen Robinson, he is playing the fearsome Tampa Bay defense here, and what they did with Green Bay's run game, they just totally shut down Green Bay's run game for the most part. Aaron Jones was able to punch in a touchdown, but otherwise he did not do very well. So right now with Josh Jacobs, we're going to start him, and we have to start him just because of his workload. Just the amount of touches that he gets every game, you can't not start Josh Jacobs despite the matchup. And this might be the worst matchup of the year for Josh Jacobs here. Tampa Bay's defense really does look legit. They really do look like they have no holes on defense. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. We should not expect a ton of points from Josh Jacobs though. Let's go ahead and move over to Chris Carson. Chris Carson against Arizona. We're expecting a smash spot here. Arizona's defense is not great. And Chris Carson, I believe coming off of a bye, right? Yeah, coming off of a bye last week. That's part of the reason why I think we underperformed so much last week. But now that they're back, I fully expect Chris Carson to be in a smash spot right here. It looks like there's an error with the fearless forecast here, but yeah, expecting good things from Chris Carson this week. Now then we have Darren Waller, our tight end. Yeah, thankful again to be able to start Darren Waller here. But it's going to be rough because, like I said, with Josh Jacobs, the Raiders have a big task in front of them with the Tampa Bay defense. Yeah, they shut down. They more or less shut down one of the most potent offenses in the Green Bay Packers. So we have to temper our expectations here. Fearless forecast is around 10 points, 11 points here. What is the actual projections here? 11 points. Yeah, that might be a bit high. Probably the 5 to 8 range is what my expectations would be on a good day, optimistically speaking. Like the ceiling, I want to say, is around 8 points. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Robert Woods, Mr. Reliable himself. They use him in a lot of different ways, so I'm not too worried about him. He does have a tough matchup against Chicago. Chicago's defense is pretty good as well. So with Robert Woods, I don't see how I could sit him though. He's just performed so reliably over the last, well, for more or less the entire season. He's had one kind of dud game, unexpected dud game, that is with the New York Giants. But otherwise, he's performed really well. So I suppose if we really wanted to go for upside, we could look to our bench here. Antonio Gibson is up against Dallas. So Dallas looked absolutely awful their last game against Arizona. If they could stay competitive with Dallas and the scores are close and they're not behind, then I would feel confident in starting Gibson. But like I said during the last episode with JD McKissic, if they're behind, then Gibson is not going to be the one that's on the field. McKissic will be the one that's on the field as the pass catching back. So, Dallas looked awful the last game, but I don't think Andy Dalton is going to be that bad for the entire year. Washington's defense, or at the very least their defensive line, is pretty good, so they can get after the quarterback. But the risk there seems kind of high. Gibson won't be a major consideration for this week. Marquise Brown is on bye, so we don't have him. Devin Harris, or Damian Harris, I should say. It is Damian Harris, right? Yeah, Damian Harris. He is against San Francisco. San Francisco's defense is still pretty good, so he is not in consideration. Somebody who is in consideration would be DeAndre Swift. He had a breakout game last week, 25 points, 2 touchdowns, and he will be playing the Atlanta Falcons this week. Yeah, so the Atlanta Falcons do put up points. Julio Jones looks like he's back. He looks like he's 100% healthy again. Matt Ryan looked absolutely great the last game. So even if they're running behind, DeAndre Swift is a pass catching back, so he will get work that way. But, it would be interesting. I'd be interested in starting him. I'm not exactly sure. For the ceiling play, I'd probably lean towards DeAndre Swift here. But as far as the floor, I don't see how I could sit Robert Woods. Oh, and just a quick note, I did make one waiver claim here, and it was for Carson Wentz. So we do have Carson Wentz right now, just as backup in case Aaron Rodgers doesn't perform as we expect them to. Just in case we need to start streaming Aaron Rodgers again. It doesn't look good for Carson Wentz right now because of just all the injuries. He will be without Miles Sanders. He will be without Zach Ertz. I just read this morning that Dallas Goedert is probably not going to come back this week, and it's actually likely that he won't be back until after their Week 9 bye. So there's still a good 2-3 weeks that we could expect for him to be gone or not available. Deshaun Jackson is supposed to play this week though, so at least he has Jackson. And there's the emergence of Fulgham, wide receiver, who seems to be playing well. So, I think Carson Wentz is a good player, and on top, like I said last time, Carson Wentz being a good quarterback and having good coaching, he's been finding ways to put up points this year. As you can see, all of his weeks have been pretty respectable, save for one against the Rams during week 2, and that's actually fairly remarkable considering how many injuries they're dealing with. But actually, also Lane Johnson, I think, is supposed to try to give it a go this week as well. So that'll be a big boost to his offensive line. But actually, that's neither here nor there because I don't foresee needing to start him anytime soon. This is just backup in case Rodgers underperforms or something happens to Rodgers right now. But let's go ahead and take a peek at our opponents. Looking at the projections, it looks like we're projected to win by 10 points, so that's fairly high. And that's going to be in consideration for upsides. So since we're projected to win by a significant amount here, I'm more inclined to start Robert Woods since I think he has more of a floor than DeAndre Swift. So, we'll probably be sticking with this lineup. But looking over at his side, Deshaun Watson against Green Bay. Green Bay's defense isn't great. I want to say they're about average to, maybe above average. Their cornerbacks are pretty good, or are decent anyways. They can get after the quarterback, but their run defense is just awful. They just have an awful run defense, as was shown last week with Ronald Jones just running all over them. But Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. So, it's well within the realm of possibility that he will get those 33 projected points that he has there. Chase Claypool has been playing well, but I believe Deontay Johnson is supposed to be coming back from injury this week, and that might eat into his workload. Last couple of weeks, he has been putting up huge numbers, like against Philadelphia. Yeah, that four touchdown game against Philadelphia. He did pretty well last game as well, with I think 1 touchdown. But if Deontay Johnson is coming back, that's just more targets and more passes off the table for him. So tempered expectations there. I'm not expecting knock on wood, we're not expecting 4 or 5 touchdowns out of Claypool this week, but we shall see. Kenny Golladay in a smash spot against Atlanta. Yeah, that Kenny Golladay is scary this week. But we'll see how it goes. Stafford, as far as I've read, Stafford hasn't looked all that great, but against Atlanta's defense cures all when it comes to offense. So yeah, we are afraid of Kenny Golladay this week. Darrell Henderson, the Rams, just like with Robert Woods, the Chicago Bears have a good defense, and they have a particularly good run defense as well. So Darrell Henderson, tempered expectations there's a 2. We're not too worried about Darrell Henderson in this matchup. James Conner against Tennessee, that's pretty even too. It's like I'm not too worried about that. Tennessee's defense is, I'd probably say, around average as far as everything that I've seen and read. So Connors has been playing well the last few weeks though. He, aside from that game 1 where he left with injury, he's been putting up solid numbers. So he is somebody to keep an eye out. He is someone to worry about a little bit, but not too worried about like Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay, we're expecting to smash pretty hard. Eric Ebron's over there. He's being started too. We're not too afraid of Eric Ebron, but he has been getting work in this offense. But for the most part, as you can see by the numbers, by the record here with his games, if he doesn't score a touchdown, then the odds are he's not putting up a good week for you. So just fingers crossed that he doesn't score a touchdown this week. Tyler Boyd has been playing well with T. Higgins actually. Those last couple of games don't look great, but those last couple of games were against good defenses in Indiana and Baltimore. Against Cleveland can get at the quarterback. They can rush the quarterback pretty well. Their secondary, I don't think, is all that great though. They're not renowned for their secondary though. So, I think it's a pretty neutral matchup here for Tyler Boyd. So we'd expect him to be somewhere around that projection. And then with the kickers, we have our kicker Harrison Butker, and the Cincinnati kicker, really, Randy Bullock. I haven't paid much attention to this guy, but it looks like he put up some good numbers during weeks 2, 3, and 4. But okay, it seems kind of up and down here. Against Cleveland, though, I'm not exactly sure. It's a pretty neutral matchup here, so 6 points sounds pretty well within the realm of possibility. That is. Philadelphia against New York, though, that's a scary spot right there. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine, so he's an interception machine. So it wouldn't be surprising to see Philadelphia grab a pick and run it in for a touchdown, really. Actually, the same thing with Los Angeles. Like I stuck with the Chargers here, or the Rams here. I didn't think to use any fab this week. I kind of wanted to save. I've been spending a lot lately over the last few weeks, so I'm going to stick it out with the Rams. Nick Foles is very hot and cold, and and lately, the last couple of weeks, he has not looked great. So, we're going to roll the dice with the Rams here. Hopefully, Foles throws some picks and maybe a pick six. A pick six isn't outside the realm of possibility. And Nick Foles does throw the ball downfield here and there as well. So the possibility of that isn't super low, so to speak. But anyways, that pretty much goes over our matchups here and my starters. So do you agree with who I'm starting this week? Which players would you swap out in my lineup? Or which players are you thinking about starting on your teams? Comment below and let me know. And thanks again so much for watching another episode of Vin Plays Yahoo Fantasy Football, and I'll see you next time.